Your character is Mr.
Creed, yes.
Tell us a little bit about Mr. Creed.
Well, Mr. Creed is he's a disaffected recluse who lives in a nondescript house which hasn't had a coat of paint on it since 1975. He was involved in a horrific accident with a school children. He was a school bus driver, and it went horribly wrong afternoon. He's been in hiding ever since, and he's now, I think it's his final Halloween, I think. He's being plagued by the demons, which I suspect he's plagued with everything. But he's part of the story. It's an anthology of several stories.
So is this his, I guess the Halloween, is this, this last one?
The Halloween, he hates Halloween. He always closes down. He always even becomes more reclusive. I mean, he always goes in, he just shuts the door, locks the door, doesn't take part in the celebrations of Halloween.
But he gets a special visitor.
He gets a special visitor this year because his time is up.
What about the part appealed to you?
Well, what about the part appealed to me is the fact I hadn't read it, nor did I ever read it. It was an experiment. Michael now knows this. He now knows it. But what happened was that Brian Singer and Alec Garcia asked me. Michael asked me if I'd be in this movie, and people ask me movies. They used to a lot, but anyway. So I'm thinking, well, because I was busy, so I didn't know. I said, okay, I'll do it. I said, but I haven't got time to read it. I said, but I'll do it. It's Michael, because I have such confidence in him, and I do think Michael's a story director, and having worked with him, expert too, it was interesting to see the genesis of it. So I said, tell me what it's about. Just pitch it to me, what the character is. And, like I just pitched it to you, they pitched it to me, and I said, okay. I said, all I want to do is design the makeup. So I designed the makeup. I said, that's all I want to do. And Michael, he approved the makeup. And then I came over. He didn't know this. I didn't, I just said, yeah, it's a wonderful script. It's a great script. And so I came on, and I then just got him to tell me every day what I was doing. So literally, I imagined that it was like a silent film. We arrived, and then put me in position and said, now come here and do this. And this is creature pops up, and you go, and then you do this, and then you fall down a flight of stairs, and then you get down, and then the creature cuts you in the back of the leg. So I did it, and it was one of the most liberating movies I've ever made, because it kind of completely released something else that, because when sometimes actors, they kind of over-identify with what they're doing, and they come and they overcomplicate it, and they get into it, and they say, my part, my character, this, that, and that's it. I had a quick idea of an image like that, it's a quick sketch of it, and they told me the guy just said, I wanted to look like a cross between Jerry Garcia and John Carpenter, which is what I was creating. And so this was a homage to Carpenter and also homage to Jerry Garcia. And I also thought it was quite a joke on the Grateful Dead, how grateful he would be to be dead. So I just thought this is where my mind works. And very scatological. So I just thought that would be a great thing to do. And I did it, and it was wonderful to do. It was, apart from filming nights, which I hate, I wish we could do Louis American for most of the small films. Unfortunately, we were shooting at night time, which I hate working nights. But because it was cold, it was Vancouver, it was cold and snowy, wet, snowy, but apart from that, it was wonderful to do because it was a liberating experience because I had no false perceptions of it. Eventually I did read the script and realised it was when I finished the movie, I thought, I must look at the script. So I thought, oh my God, this is a good movie. And didn't I luck out? And I did, because I think Michael was a very original character. What was great was on the set with Michael was how confident Michael was. So often the first-time directors, they're either over-enthusiastic and a little crude, a little cack-handed. He never put a thing out of place. He was always clear about what he wanted, and clear about what his vision of the film was, and clear about what his script was. And that's very, very satisfying if you're an actor, because so often you're working with people who are not clear. I mean, I've been lucky. I've worked with some very good people, so it's not always happened. In fact, I tend to smell those people out and avoid them. But that's why I knew that I'd be in safe hands with them. Much safer hands than you realized.
Is it ever frustrating as an actor when you work on something in years and it takes that long for it to come out?
Yeah. No, I mean, most of the stuff that one does nowadays doesn't get its proper distribution. I mean, this happens time and time again. Unless you're in a Warner Brothers or a Fox blockbuster and doing stuff, you're fighting a battle about how films are distributed. And it's archaic. It's a system that not even the audiences are happy with, because they are deprived of films. You know, like finding a good film. I found this film the other day, they say. I saw you in this movie. What a great movie. Why did we not see it? So blame the distributors. Blame the lack of courage of the people who make the movie, who sell the movies on. And this is happening more and more and more and more and more. And frankly, like a lot of people realize it has to change. And I think it will change, because we're just getting the same old, and I think there's a whole movement. And the audiences, it's very interesting. I went to a film festival last year, Tilda Swinton, this wonderful film festival up in Scotland, in Nairn, which is a population of about 10,000 people. And they had 6 to 1. They had 6 times what they expected as an audience. And I was up there with a film called The Escapist. There was a sort of sneak preview that we did it. And I was asking about films, and people were saying, well, we don't get access to certain films, and especially seeing it in theatre settings. In a theatre situation. We get on DVD, but it's not the same as sitting in a dark room with a flickering light watching a golf concert. And there's a kind of thing that it's the next area that has to be looked at, is how we present these films, and how they are distributed. Actually, even how the theatres are, because the whole, popcorn, the whole multiplex thing is just the most impersonal way of viewing films imaginable, and it really has to shift. And I think the audiences want it to shift as much as it is.
In what direction are you thinking?
A much more personal thing. I mean, much more kind of a real sense of individual style in terms of how the buildings are and how the way you present the theatre. I mean, it really is to do with the architecture. It's to do with what the form is. There's a cinema in England called like Everyman in Hampstead. It's a very famous old cinema, and they've gone to an extreme. A little bit. I'm not so sure about it, where people come and they order your drinks and they take orders and they sit down and you sit in low seats, and it's a good idea. It's a little shishi. It's a little over the top, but at least it's examining the fact that there has to be a kind of way of making the cinema, kind of getting back to a kind of communal aspect of what cinema is about, like that community thing. And I do think that's the kind of the multiplexes just don't do that. They're just there they're like, everybody's like fodder. The audience becomes fodder for the movie. The movie is fodder for the audience.
How do you feel about the post cinema viewing experience today?
What do you mean?
Well, from in a home theater experience as well as internet distribution.
Well, yeah, it does work, but there is the thing. I mean, we live in an age where we're being forced more and more and more and more and more not to go outside. And it's really worrying. It's pretty scary. Where everything can be done without moving a leg or a muscle. I think that wonderful film WALL-E, and the characters in WALL-E, I think we've all become like those characters in WALL-E. We don't do anything, we don't participate in a way.